Vandeham Shri Gurun Shri Yukta Parakamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavamscha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunatanvitam Tam Sajivam Sadvetam Savadutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakanvitamscha Om Agyana Timirandasya Gyananjana Shalakaya Chakshurun Militam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Namahom Vishnupadaya Gaura Prishtaya Bhutare Srimate Bhaktivedanta Vanayati Namine Vandeham Bhakti Chakoram Kuranga Nija Preshtitam Srimate Bhaktivedanta Samvanam Namastubhyam Shri Radhe Ganeshtitam Rasayana Katamritam Sankirtanam Anandadam Goswami Varam Namaha Shamarani Mataram Vande Agnopi Adanugrahat Tagarat Pavasagaratcha Napecha Krishna Premadanam Shri Krishna Rupaya Vairiki Kala Visheshagnaya Namamyaham Pujam Shamaranim Swapanikaraya Namahom Vishnupadaya Radhikaya Priyatmane Shri Srimad Bhaktivedanta Narayaniti Namane Shri Krishna Nirakatane Sudaksham Udari Madhurya Gunesha Yuktam Puranvaranyam Purushan Mahantam Narayanam Fam Shirasanamami Namahom Vishnupadaya Shri Keshava Priyatmane Shri Srimad Bhaktivedanta Vamaniti Namine Gaura Bhava Mayo Deha Ujvara Rasa Bhavaka Bhakti Vedanta Vamano Dag Bhakti Pravartaka Guru Damnicha Sevasu Vaishnave Savadamati Grante Bhagavate Sakshat Goswami Vedante Rati Namahom Vishnupadaya Krishna Prishtaya Bhutare Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swaminiti Namine Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Pashyati Deshatarine Namaham Vishnupadaya Acharya Simharupine Shri Srimad Bhakti Pragyan Keshavayati Namine Atimarcha Charitraya Swashitanam Chapanine Jivaduke Siddhartaya Shinama Premadayane Godashraya Vigrahaya Krishna Kamaika Charine Rupanuga Privaraya Vinodeti Swarupine Prabhu Parantarangaya Sarva Sadguna Shaline Mayavada Tamoganaya Vedantartavade Namaha. Namaham Vishnupadaya Krishna Prishtaya Bhutare Srimate Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Namine Shri Varshavanavi Devi Daitaya Kripabdaye Krishna Sambandha Vijnana Daine Prabhave Namaha Madhurjvana Premadya Shri Rupanuga Bhaktida Shri Gaura Karuna Shakti Vigrahaya Namostute Namaste Gauravani Shri Murte Dinatarine Rupanuga Veruda Pasidhanta Vantaharine Namo Gaunakishoraya Sakshan Vairagya Murtaye Vipralambada Sambodhe Udambujayate Namaha Namo Bhakti Vinodaya Satchidananda Namine Gauda Shakti Swarupaya Rupanuga Varayate Gauravya Baba Bhume Swam Nirjesta Sajjana Priyaha Vaishnava Savabhomashi Jaganatayate Namaha Vanchakalpatanubhyascha Kripasanubhya evacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Namo Mahaviranyaya Krishna Prema Pradayate Krishnaya Krishna Chaitanya Namne Gaurant Vishye Namaha He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dinabandhu Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Shidara Kanta Namostute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanu Sute Devi Pranamami Hari Priye Jayatam Surato Pangur Mama Mandamate Gati Matsavasva Parambojo Shirata Madana Mohano Divya Vrindanya Kapadrumata Shrimadadnagara Simhastanashto Shishirada Shina Govinda Devo Preshtani Bisevimano Smarami Shriman Rasada Sarambi Vamshivata Tashtitaha Karshan Venu Swanir Gopin Gopinata Shri Estuna Vrindaye Tulasi Devyaye Priyaye Keshavasya Cha Krishna Bhakti Prade Devi Satyavate Namo Namaha Panchatatvatmakam Krishnam Bhaktarupa Swarupakam Bhaktavataram Bhaktakyam Namami Bhakti Shaktikam Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shri Vasari Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare Hare. Page 23. Govinda Priya, would you like to lead us to the Kram? Like, do you want to like Guru Parampara? Do you know, do you follow regular Kram? Do you want to lead it? Will you lead some bhajans later? Page 23. Krishna hoite chaturmukha hoya Krishna sevan mukha Brahma hoite nara dera mohati Narada hoite vyasa Madhvaka he vyasa dasa Purna pragna padmana bhagavati Nihari madhava vamshe Akshobhya paramahamse Shishabho niyangi karakore Akshobhyera shesha jaya Tirtaname parijaya Taradasye gyana sindhu tore Taha hoite doya nidhi Taradasya vidya nidhi Rajendra hoido taha hoite Tahara kinkara jaya Dhamaname parichaya Parampara Janavaramahati Jaya Dhamadase Kyati Shri Purushatamajati Tahoite Brahmanya Tirtha Sohori Vyasa Tirtha Tara Dasa Lakshmi Pati Vyasa Dasa Tahoite Madhavendra Puri Madhavendra Puri Vada Shisha Vada Shri Ishvala Nityananda Shri Advaita Vibhu Isvara Puri Kedanya Gauri Lenya Shri Chaitanya Jagaguru Gaura Mahaprabhu Mahaprabhu Shri Chaitanya Radha Krishna Nahiyanya Rupanuga Janira Jivana Vishwambara Priyankara Shri Swarupa Damodara Shri Goswami Rupa Sanatana Rupa Priya Mahajana Jiva Raghunatha Hana Tara Priya Kavi Krishna Dasa Krishna Dasa Priya Vada Narottama Seva Para Janapada Vishwanatha Asha Vishwanatha Bhakta Sata Baladeva Jagannatha Tara Priya Shri Bhakti Vinoda Vata Vada Shri Gaura Kishora Vada Hari Bhajanete Jara Moda Shri Vashaba Navi Vada Sada Sevya Seva Pada Tara Daita Dasanama Prabhupada Antaranga Shri Swarupa Rupanuga Shri Keshava Bhakti Pragyana Gauriya Vedanta Veta Maya Vadota Mohanta Gauravani Prachara Chadama Pracharino Gauravani Bhakti Vedanta Swami Purnino Prabhupada Kama Kesha Priya Mahajana Jimanana Dayan Hana Gauravani Tade Pranandahana Esava Hari Jana Gaurangera Nija Jana Tadero Chiste Morakama Guru Parampara Guru Parampara Guru Parampara Guru Parampara Guru Parampara Guru Parampara Parampara Guru Parampara. Page 36. Vrindavana Vasi Jato Vaishnavera Gahana Vatame Vandana Kori Sabara Charana Nilachara Vasiyato Mahaprabhu Gana Bhumite Poriya Vando Sabara Charana Navadvipavasiyato Mahaprabhu Bhakta Sabara Charana Vando Hoyanuraka Mahaprabhu Bhakta Yato Goda Deshe Stiti Sabara Charana Vando Gaudiya Pranati Jede Baise Gaurangera Gana Udbaba Hukari Vando Sabara Charana Hoyachena Hoyi Bena Prabhudato Dasa Sabara Charana Vando Dante Korigasha Brahmanda Torite Jakti Dare Jane Jane Eveda Purane Guna Jaya Jebashune Mahaprabhu Gana Sabapati Tapavana Tairo Bimui Papilo Inusharana Vandana Korite Mui Kato Shakti Dori Tamo Buri Doshe Mui Damba Matra Kori Tatapi Mukera Bhagya Manera Ulasa Tokshakshami Moadami Koro Nijadasa Sarva Vancha Siri Hoy Yama Banda Chute Jagate Durlava Hoy Prem Dana Lute Manera Vasana Puna Hachirate Hoya Devaki Nandana Dasa Elovekoya Jayo Vaishnav Thakur Jayo Vaishnav Thakur Vaishnav Thakur Jayo Vaishnav Thakur Jayo Vaishnav Thakur Jayo Vaishnav Thakur Vaishnav Thakur Jayo Vaishnav Thakur. Page 200. Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Vande Rupa Sanatana Bhatta Raghunatha Shri Jiva Gopala Bhatta Dasa Raghunatha Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Jivendoya Kori Swaparshada Sriya Dhamma Sahavatari Atyanta Dulabha Prema Gauri Varidana Shikaya Sharanagati Bhakatera Prana Danya Atmani Vedana Gompripve Varana Avasharakshribe Krishna Vishvasapalana Bhakti Anukula Matra Kayera Svikara Bhakti Pratikula Bhava Vajanangikara Sharanga Sharanagati Hoi Vejahara Tahara Pratana Shune Srinanda Kumara Rupa Sanatana Pade Jadrekina Kori Sarva Satgatrim Tada Bakati Vinoda Pade Dupada Dori Gandia Gandia Bole Amito Adama Shikaye Sharanagati Karahe Utama Jaya Swarparishada Jaya Goda Hari Swarparishada Jaya Goda Hari Jaya Swarparishada Jaya Goda Hari Swarparishada Jaya Goda Hari. Do you have a preference which bhajan you sing? For this. Oh. Welcome to the club.
Or you can just do one that you like most.
Which one do you like most? Yeah.
What do you do? Do Sharanagati when you go into Mahaprabhu now? What do you usually?
If you like, we usually we go Nitai. Now usually we now do Nitai, Gaur, Radha Krishna. That's a good one.
I'll just sing in the same key. If you could, I'll try anyway. Nitai pada kamala koti chandra shushitala. I changed it. Jaya jaga tajuraya. I was trying to do the same key you were singing in, but I guess I didn't. Which key is it? I could do that. But in the morning melody, right? The same melody you were just doing. Oh, okay. No, I mean, okay. No, either way, it's fine. That's okay. I'll just sing. Nitai pada kamala koti chandra shushitala je chaya jagata judaya mala koti chandra shushitala निताय वीने भाई राधा कृष्ण पैते ना दृढ़ करी धरनी तर पाय संबंध नाही जरा भृत जन्म गेलो तार से पशु नाही जार भृत जन्म गेलो तार गोदो दुराचारम নিতাই না বলিলা মুখে মঝিল সংসার সুখে বেচা খুলে কি করিবে তারা আহ্বান করে মাথা হইয়া নিতাই পদ পাশারিয়া অসত্যের সত্য করি মানি অহংকারে নিতাইয়ের করুণা হবে ব্রজ রাধা কৃষ্ণ পাবে ধারো নিতর চরণ ধুকানি हे निताइयर चरण सत्य ताहर सेवक नित्य निताय पद सदा करो आशा নারতম বোধ দুঃখী নিতাই মোরে করো সুখী রাখো রঙ্গ চরণের পাশ জয় নিতাই গৌরাঙ্গ জয় নিতাই গৌরাঙ্গ নিতাই গৌরাঙ্গ জয় নিতাই গৌরাঙ্গ
Prabhu, have you heard that I still make the same mistake almost every single morning in the morning? Ready? Jari Goranga nahi to tave ke hoi to kemone dori to de Jari Goranga nahi to tave ke hoi to kemone dori to de Jari Gauranga nahi to tave ke hoi to
kemone dorito de Rikorangana ito dorito de Radhara Mahima Prema Rasa Simha.
A little slower.
Radhara Mahima Prema Rasa Simha. Radhara Mahima Rasa Simha. Jagate Janato Ke Jagate Janato Ke Madhura Vrinda Vipina Madhuri Nura Vrinda Vipina Madhuri Pravesha Chatori Sara Nara Pravesha Sara Paraja Yuvate Bhavara Bhakatati Paraja Yuvate Bhavara Bhakati Paraja Yuvate Bhavara Bhakati Bhavara Bhakati Sakati Hoito Kara Te Hoito Kara Gapuna Puna Gorengara Guna Puna Puna Gorangira Guna Gau Puna Puna Gorangira Guna Puna Guna Sarala Hoino Mana Mana E Bhava Sagare E Mona Doya E Mona Doya E Bhava Sagare E Mona Doya E Mona Doya Nade Kije Jana Nade Kije Jana Goranga Bolia Nagenu Galia Kemone Dorinu De Goranga Bolia Nageni Naglia Kemone Dorito De Narahari Priya Pasanadiya Pasanadiya Narahariya Pasanadiya Pasanadiya Kemone Yoriache Kemone Goriache Jari Gorangana Ito Tabiko Ito Kemone Dorito De Gorangana Ito Tabiko Ito Kemone Dorito De Shri Radha Mahima Prema Rasa Simha Hara Mahima Prema Rasa Simha Jagate Janatoke Jagate Janatoke Jaya Sachinandan Jaya Gaurari Jaya Sachinandan Jaya Gaurari Jaya Sachinandan Jaya Gaurari Jaya Sachinandan Jaya Gaurari Nitai Gaura Haribo 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 Nitai Gaura Haribo Nitai Gaura Haribo 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 Nitai Gaura Haribo. Thanks. No. Thanks. That was the first time I was trying to figure that one out. Yeah. You want to do Krishna Bhajan? Okay. Yeah, let's do it. Radha Madhava. Oh, Jaya Radha Madhava. Oh, I thought you were singing Radhe Jaya Jaya Madhava Jaya. No. You want to sing? Jaya Radha Madhava Jaya Kunja Bihari Jaya Gopi Janavallabha Jaya Girivaradha. Okay, I think I can do it. What? Like Prabhupada. Okay. Jaya Radha Madhava Jaya Kunja Bihari 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 Jaya Gopi Janavallabha Jaya Girivaradhari Jaya Girivaradhari Bolo Gopi Janavallabha Jaya Girivaradhari Jaya Giri Jaya Gopi Janavallabha Jaya Girivardhari Jaya Girivardhari Jaya Gopi Janavallabha Jaya Girivardhari Jaya Girivardhari Jaya Yasodanandana Braja Janaranjana Yasodanandana Braja Janaranjana Yasodanandana Braja Janaranjana Yasodanandana Braja Janaranjana Yamuna Tiravanachari Jaya Kunja Vihari Jaya Kunja Vihari Jaya Yamuna Tiravanachari Jaya Kunja Vihari Jaya Kunja Vihari Jaya Radha Madhava 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 Jaya Kunja Vihari Jaya Gopi Janavallabha Jaya Girivardhari Jaya Girivardhari Gopi Janavallabha Jaya Girivardhari Jaya Girivardhari Jaya Yasodanandana Braja Janaranjana Yasodanandana Braja Janaranjana Yasodanandana Gopi Janaranjana Yasodanandana Gopi Janaranjana Yasodanandana Gopi Janaranjana Yasodanandana Gopi Janaranjana Natira Vanachari Yamunatira Vanachari Yamunatira Vanachari Yamunatira Vanachari Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare. Nitai Gaura Haribo, 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 Gaura Haribo. Haribo, Nitai Gaura Haribo. Oh, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare. Oh, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare. Oh, Hare Rama, Rama Rama. Gurudev, Jaya Jaya Gurudev, Jaya Jaya Prabhupada, Jaya Jaya Prabhupada. Prabhupada Jaya. Oh, Nitai Gauda Haribo, Haribo, Gauda Haribo. Nitai Gauda Haribo, 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 Haribo. Shri Krishna is the lover of Shri Radha and is the enjoyer of pastimes in the forest groves of Braja. He is the dearmost beloved of the gopis and the lifter of Govardhan Hill. He is the darling son of Mother Yashoda. He gives pleasure to the residents of Braj, and he wanders in the forests along the banks of the Yamuna River. Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur ki jai. Yeah. Om Jnanatimidrandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurun Militam Yena Tashmai Sri Gurave Namaha Guruve Gaura Chandraya Radhikaya Tvedalaye Krishnaya Krishna Bhaktaya Tada Bhaktaya Namo Namaha Yam Pravrijantam Anupetam Apeta Krityam Dvaipayano Virahaka Tarua Johava Pucheti Tanmayataya Taravo Benedus Tam Sarva Bhuta Hridayam Munimanatosmi Bhaktya Vihina Aparada Lakshay Chiptascha Kamadita Rangamadye Amaitvam Sharanam Prapadye Vrinde Namaste Charanadavindam Tavaivasmi Najivami Tvaya Vina Iti Vijaya Radhe Tvam Nayamam Charanantike Kripayati Yadi Radha Padita Sheshabadha Kimapade Vishishtam Pushti Marya Dvayormi Yadati Varichikat Kinchit Smeraha Sodishtashir Dvijavadamani Panktya Mukti Shuktya Tadakim Shama Sundara Sikanda Sekara Smeraha Samrali Manohara Radhika Rasika Mam Kripanidhe Swapriya Charana Kinkarim Kuru Prananata Vrishabhanu Nandini Shrimukabjara Salola Satapada Radhika Paratale Kritastitim Tvam Bhajami Rasikenja Shekara Samvidhaya Dasane Trinam Vibho Partaye Brajamahendra Nandana Astu Mohana Tabati Vallava Janma Janmani Marishwari Priya. First of all, offering unlimited Dandavat pranams in the dust of the lotus feet of my worshipful Diksha Guru Devi. Guru Devi Om Vishnu Parasto to Sat Shishimati Shamrani Didi. Similarly. It's on. Haribol. Nichilila Pravishta Om Vishnu Parasta to Sat Shishimad Srila Bhaktivedanta Narayan Goswami Maharaj. Similarly to Nichilila Pravishta Om Vishnu Parasta to Sat Shishimad Srila Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada, to the entire Rupanuga Guru Varga and all assembled devotees. Hare Krishna. Dandavat. So today is appearance day of Sri Isvara Puri. So she called upon me to speak something. Glorification of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's. Maybe try and turn it up. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's Harinam initiating Guru. Really cool. And so Srila Gurudev, he gives some nice recollection of this history in Navadvip Dham Parikrama book, where he explains that Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, of course, exhibited his early pastimes in Navadvip, and he was considered a big scholar, Pandit, Nimai Pandit. And he was so scholastic and so intelligent, of course, being the Lord. But he was exhibiting this kind of scholarly behavior, which is such an interesting thing. It's like one of the aspects or facets of Mahaprabhu's Leela is his kind of tasting and relishing such a high, knowledge of Shastra. And so when he was young, he started actually getting a big reputation as a scholar. And he learned from Sri Gangadas Pandit, who was Sandibani Muni in Krishna Lila, came in Gaura Lila. And so he studied through his youth with Gangadas Pandit, and many big Pandits came through Navadvip. Navadvip was the seat of learning, and so it was already known for its erudite scholarship. That's the best way to put it. And so he debated with many scholars, including Sri Keshav Kashmiri, and especially after the defeat of him, then everyone said, "Wow, we want to learn from Nimai Pandit. He's so young, but he's so learned." so he started teaching. He started teaching at the school of his his guru, Sri Gangadas Pandit, but also he taught at home. And so he had students, and specifically what he started teaching was he focused on Sanskrit grammar and Sanskrit. And but time came that he left Navadvip and he went to Gaya and he took Harinam from Isvara Puri, his guru. And he received Harinam, and also Isvara Puri gave him Gopal mantra. And he told him to chant, just chant, chant, chant. You're not very learned in the scripture. Better you just chant Hare Krishna. And as soon as Nimai Pandit took Harinam and started chanting, his behavior started to shift. And this is what Srila Gurudev emphasizes a lot in here, that he starts to exhibit symptoms of a devotee. So Gurudev says now he's Bhavuk Nimai. He went from Nimai Pandit, scholarly Nimai Pandit, to Bhavuk Nimai Pandit. And he started getting really ecstatic. And so when he came back to Navadvip, he was so ecstatic that he wasn't in such a condition to teach. And actually, he didn't even have so much taste in teaching either. And so he refused to teach his students grammar any longer. He said, this is a waste of my time. Better I just chant this mantra that I got from my guru. In fact, when I chant this mantra, I see this beautiful blue personality, and I'm becoming mad after this person. So I don't need to do all this grammar and stuff. And so his students, they tried to get him to instruct them, but even when they tried, he just wasn't present for it. And so his students went to Gangadas Pandit and told him, hey, Nimai, he took Harinam, he took initiation, and now he's speaking some very high philosophy. He has no interest he's not teaching us the grammar. This is why we're coming for our studies, and he's just not capable of teaching us. So can you please go and ask him to change it up, to actually come and teach us proper grammar? So Sri Gangadas Pandit, he did that. He approached Nimai and he said, oh, Nimai, how is everything going? I heard that you took initiation, which is very pleasing to the ancestors, very nice process. But how come you're not able to teach your students proper grammar? This is not gentleman behavior. You should teach. And then Nimai Pandit was very quiet. And then he said, okay, yes, you're my teacher. I should follow your instructions. I will teach grammar again. So he went back to teach in school, but he was mad, Nimai. He couldn't handle it. And he was explaining Sanskrit grammar, that he would say, oh, they would go into a lesson and he would say, oh, he would go to the root of any word. And he'd say, oh, sound is just a vibration. And vibration is the potency of Krishna. He says, without Krishna, then you have nothing. The potency of Krishna is moving everything. And then he would say, and Krishna, he is Shama Sundar. He's attractive to everyone. And he would go into trance. And he would start crying and hair standing on edge. And his students are like, what the heck is going on? Why can't he just give us the lesson? And so then this word got out. This word got out to everyone that something's up with Nimai. And so some people approached Sachimata about this. He said, can you please call a doctor to reform Nimai's behavior? He's acting up. So she said, yes, I'll call the best Kaviraj. I can't believe my son is, she started worrying. And so they put him in a whole vat of oil that was supposed to cool him down. And Srivas Pandit came and he started laughing at Mahaprabhu because Mahaprabhu was chanting Harinam and floating up and down in the oil, and the doctor and Sachi, they're all disturbed. What is he doing? He's completely mad. But Srivas could understand. And so then Nimai Pandit, he also was satisfied. He said, oh, my dear Srivas, if you had not come and right now, I think I could barely stay here any longer, because if no one could understand my devotional sentiments, then who's qualified to receive what I want to give? But still, the word was going out. And even it got so intense, Nimai's ecstasies, that at one point he was basically like in some bush and he was chanting, "Gopis, gopis, 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 gopis." And some Brahmins were walking by him, and they saw him and they listened. Gopis? They said, "Haven't you heard in Shastra that the name of uh, Vishnu, the name of Ram, and the name of Krishna, that will bring you the supreme benefit? Why are you not chanting Krishna's name?" He said, "Oh, this Krishna?" He said, "Why would I worship this Krishna? He's a woman hunter and all these things." And he grabbed his stick and he ran after the Brahmins. So then after this, really it became a scene in Navadvip. And people started kind of actually becoming critical of his behavior, thinking that bad things about him. So based on this interaction, Nimai explained that I should take sannyas because people they're creating offenses in their heart just by my behavior. But if I take sannyas, then they will at least see me as a sannyasi, and they'll offer their respects to me on this alone, and so then everyone will get benefit. That's why I came. So then he told Nityananda Prabhu and a few others, I'm going to take sannyas. So this is kind of a pivotal moment when he takes Harinam from Isvara Puri that shifts the whole thing, kicks up these moods. And he's also setting the precedent of the importance for taking Harinam. Srila Gurudev also emphasizes this point. And also that he received Gopal mantra also to give some moods. And later on in Mahaprabhu's preaching, he kind of used this as a crutch a little bit, this Harinam initiation from Isvara Puri. In fact, when he was in Kashi, he was talking to Prakashananda Saraswati, and they, of course, he's, at that point extremely ecstatic, and they said, "You're a young sannyasi. Why are you singing and dancing? You should be studying Vedanta. Like, what kind of behavior is this?" And he said, "Oh, I'm just following my guru. My guru Maharaj, he told me I'm not qualified to study Vedanta, so I should just chant Hare Krishna." And he gave me this mantra, Harinam, Harinam, Harinam eva kevalam, kalo nastina eva. Yeah, Ganyata. So he said, so I'm just following the order of my Guru Maharaj, and I'm chanting Hare Krishna mantra. Really nice. And so that's the basic history of Nimai Pandit becoming big scholarly Nimai Pandit to shifting to Bhavuk or Mad Nimai Pandit. And yeah, he gave he gave the Harinama mantra. Yeah, he gave Harinama initiation. Keshav Bharati. Yeah. I tried to look for some stuff about Ishwar Puri himself, but not so much is written, other than, or at least what I could find, other than the fact that he's such a prominent disciple of Madhavendra Puri. So that was his great glorification. And he lived in Gaya at the ashram of his guru. And so if you all like, we can continue reading Srimad Bhagavatam.
Isn't there the pastime of where he enlists Lord Chaitanya in any of his books?
I don't remember.
Did you check the Krishna if any of his books?
No. Nor. Mahaprabhu the mantra. I don't know, but I know what you're talking about. It's really interesting. Okay, great. Thanks, Prabhu. That's perfect. Yeah. Oh, nice, nice. Okay, Haridas Prabhu's pulled up some pastimes. Isvara Puri is a sannyas name. Though his name prior to taking sannyas is unknown, we do not know that his father's name was Sham Sundar Acharya. Isvara Puri took initiation from Madhavendra Puri, the embodiment of nectarian divine love. Madhavendra Puri was pleased with Isvara Puri's guileless, sincere, and affectionate service, and thus showered him with blessings, so that he too became immersed in the ocean of love for Krishna. If a disciple can satisfy his spiritual master, then he will be fortunate and attain all auspiciousness and the fulfillment of all his desires. On the other hand, if the guru is unhappy with his disciple, then he will only know inauspiciousness. These teachings have been highlighted in the exemplary life of Madhavendra Puri. Ramchandra Puri was another of Madhavendra Puri's initiated disciples, but because of his arrogance he was bereft of his guru's grace. Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami has described the incident with great beauty in Chaitanya Charitamrita. Previously, when Madhavendra Puri was on his deathbed, Ramachandra Puri came to see him. Madhavendra Puri was singing the holy names of the Lord and crying out, "I have not attained Mathura." Ramchandra then began to instruct him. He had no compunction about doing so. Even though he was a disciple, he said, "Remember that you are completely full of bliss and Brahman. Why are you crying like this despite being knowledgeable of your own Brahma nature?" When Madhavendra Puri heard this, he became angry and began to rebuke Ramchandra, saying, get away, you most sinful rascal. I am dying from the distress of not having received Krishna's mercy, of not having attained Mathura, and you come to add to my misery. Go wherever you like, but don't show your face to me again. If I see you while I am dying, I will take a lower birth. I am dying from the distress of not having attained Krishna, and this lowly fool is teaching me about Brahman. As a result, Madhavendra Puri withdrew his blessings from his disciple, who thenceforth started to develop material desires. He became a dry philosopher without any interest in Krishna. Not only that, but he became critical of everyone and devoted himself to fault-finding. Isvara Puri, on the other hand, served his guru, even personally cleaning his urine and feces. He continuously repeated the name of Krishna and recounted Krishna's pastimes to him. Madhavendra Puri was so pleased with Isvara Puri that he embraced him and blessed him, saying, "May you have the treasure of love of Krishna." From that time onward, Isvara Puri became an ocean of love for Krishna. When Ramchandra Puri became a mine of insults, these two personalities thus bear witness to the results of pleasing or displeasing a great soul. Madhavendra Puri taught this truth through them. Oh, nice. So, same past form, he explains. Mahaprabhu is the supreme personality of Godhead and has no need of any teacher. Even so, he wishes to teach the world that it is absolutely necessary to take shelter of a bona fide spiritual master. For this reason, he played the role of a disciple by taking initiation from Isvara Puri when he met him in Gaya. This in itself shows beyond a doubt Isvara Puri's greatness and importance. Then the Lord went to Gaya where he... Chaitanya Charitamrita quote. The Lord went to Gaya where he met Isvara Puri. After taking initiation from him, he started to display the signs of love of God, and when he returned to his homeland, he began to engage in the pastimes of divine love. When they met, Mahaprabhu and Isvara Puri were overcome by the ecstasy of love and drenched each other in tears of prema that fell from their eyes. The Lord said, "My pilgrimage to Gaya is successful, for today I have seen your lotus feet. When one makes the pinda, offering to the ancestors at a holy place, then that ancestor is delivered. but simply by seeing you, 10 million ancestors are delivered from all forms of bondage in a single moment. Therefore, no holy place is your equal, and you are the primary source of auspiciousness for even the holy places. Please lift me up from the ocean of material suffering. I offer this body to your service. The only gift I ask is that you give me the nectar of Krishna's lotus feet to drink. Mahaprabhu was acting the role of an ordinary pilgrim who had come to Gaya to offer the Shraddha oblations to his deceased father. On the day that he performed these rituals, he returned to his room and began to cook. When Isvara Puri came and placed his lotus feet in Mahaprabhu's room, Mahaprabhu personally served him the rice and vegetables that he himself had cooked with great satisfaction. In so doing, Mahaprabhu demonstrated most perfectly how to serve the Guru. Great. One more pastime. Isvara Puri had met Mahaprabhu in Navadvip even prior to giving him the 10-syllable mantra in Gaya. He also met with Advaita Acharya, who had similarly played the role of Madhavendra Puri's disciple. Vrindavan Das Thakur has described this meeting in Chaitanya Bhagavat. Once, Isvara Puri passed through Navadvip when Nimai was still engaged in his pastimes as a student. He stayed there for a few months in the house of Gopinath Acharya as his guest. One day, he saw Nimai and was most impressed and attracted by his bodily beauty. Nimai invited Isvara Puri to his house to eat and had his mother Sachi cook and serve him Krishna Prasad. Then he and Isvara Puri began talking about Krishna. Isvara Puri also met Gadadhar Pandit and was pleased when he saw the depth of his renunciation. He started to affectionately give him lessons from Sri Krishna Lilamrita, a book of his own composition. Nimai would also come daily to Gopinath Acharya's house to find Isvara Puri while he was teaching Gadadhar and offer him his obeisances. One day, Isvara Puri asked Nimai to correct any mistakes that were in his book. This is what you were talking about, Haridas. Nimai answered, "Anyone who finds a fault with the devotee's description of Krishna is a sinner. If a devotee writes a poem, no matter how poorly he does it, it will certainly contain his love for Krishna. A fool says Vishnaya, while a scholar knows the correct form of Vishnave. But Krishna accepts the sentiment in either case. If anyone sees a fault in this, the fault is his, for Krishna is pleased with anything the pure devotee says. You too describe the Lord with words of love. So what arrogant person would dare criticize anything that you have written?" The same incident is described in the Bhakti Ratnakara in the following way. "Look here, this is the house of Gopinath Acharya, where Vishwambar would visit from time to time. Isvara Puri stayed here for a while and composed his book Sri Krishna Lilamrita. He had great affection for Gadadhar Pandit, and when he saw the symptoms of love for Krishna in him, he taught him that book. When Nityananda Prabhu was traveling in the west of India, he incidentally met Madhavendra Puri there. When the two met, they fainted. Nityananda was overcome by love and started to describe Madhavendra Puri's glories, while Madhavendra Puri himself embraced Nityananda and wet him with his tears. Isvara Puripad understood that Nityananda was extremely dear to his spiritual master, that Nityananda was extremely dear, and so, like his Guru's other disciples, held him in great affection and felt a very deep love for him. All glories to Madhavendra Puri, the ocean of love for Krishna. He was the first shoot of the desire tree of devotion. That first shoot was nourished and grew in the form of Isvara Puri, and from him the thick trunk of Chaitanya Lila took shape." Wow, nice description. Before he left this world, Isvara Puri sent two of his disciples, Kashishwar and Govinda, to serve Mahaprabhu. Even though they were his godbrothers, Mahaprabhu still obeyed the order of his spiritual master and accepted them as his servants. You know, there's that one verse, Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami, the Hadena Nata, Kwashi Kwashi, I don't remember the exact verse, but Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami explains that there's only three people who could understand this verse: Sri Radha, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, and Madhavendra Puri. So how elevated is Madhavendra Puri? And so then here it's nice, I'm just noticing in this verse that saying that this also flowed through Isvara Puri, and then Mahaprabhu took Harinam in this line, also receiving these moods. Oh, it's here. Haribol. I just found it. Actually, there's a section on it. I'll read it. There is one last important incident from Madhavendra Puri's immaculate life left to be told. Ramchandra Puri and Isvara Puri were two of Madhavendra's initiated disciples. However, Ramchandra was unable to receive his spiritual master's mercy because he showed him disrespect, whereas Isvara Puri was blessed through his single-minded devotion, and thus was able to attain the highest love of Krishna. Yeah. Srila Prabhupada Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati. Oh no, this is the same. Sorry, one moment. So after the pastime of Ramchandra Puri, Madhavendra Puri was especially pleased with Isvara Puri, and he embraced him and blessed him, saying, "May you have the treasure of love for Krishna." From that time onward, Isvara Puri became an ocean of love for Krishna. So this is in glorification of Madhavendra Puri. He was the spiritual master of the whole world, and he gave the gift of love of God. He left this world while repeating this verse. Ai dina dayarja natahe, matura nata kadava lokeshe, hridayam twada loka kataram, dayita brahmyate kim karomyaham. This is the verse. O Lord, whose heart softens at seeing the condition of the unfortunate, O Lord of Mathura, when will I ever see you? My heart is filled with pain from not seeing you, my love, and I am confused. What can I do? When Mahaprabhu recited this verse, he became so intoxicated with the divine love that Nityananda had to hold him to calm him down. Prabhupada Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur writes, "The feeling of separation from Krishna or transcendental vipralambha is the only practice by which the spirit soul can achieve perfection. Material feelings of separation give rise to a despondency that reveals the attachment one has for matter, whereas the despondency that results from the feelings of separation for Krishna are the best proof of one's desire to bring pleasure to the senses, his senses, Krishna. The desire to bring pleasure to Krishna's senses shown by Madhavendra Puri, the great soul who is the root of this movement, is the ideal example to follow for anyone who wishes to serve the Lord. It is especially worth remarking that Mahaprabhu and his closest followers later adopted this example and made it their standard." Jai Shri Isvara Puri ki jai, Shri Madhavendra Puri ki jai, Shri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu ki jai. I think that's quite complete. Any contributions, questions? It's from, it's from Chaitanya Charitamrita, but he didn't make it up. Yeah, it's from somewhere, and my understanding is that Radharani spoke this verse originally, and then Madhavendra had heard it, and so he was chanting this and getting so much from it. But I know in CC that there's like a whole section talking about it, so I think we could find something more later. Go to Premanandi, Hari Hari Bo. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Nitai Gaura Haribo, Haribo, Nitai Gaura Haribo, 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 Nitai Gaura Haribo. Jai Shri Isvara Puri ki jai.